Welcome to another episode. Thank you for being here. I'm excited for a solo show. I feel like it's been a minute since I've done a solo show, probably because it has. But yeah, this is kind of continuing on the mini series where I asked y'all for questions, and then you gave me questions, and now I'm answering those questions. Last time I brought my brother in here, but scheduling didn't work out. So now it is just me. You got just me, one of the Mansfield boys. And I'm going to be answering a question that came in through Instagram from Adriana, images by Adriana, and I'm gonna let her ask the question. Let me pull it up. Here we go.
So my potential podcast theme is not so much a question as it is just a statement. But as a new business owner, I find it pretty overwhelming to make a decision as far as how to start and what to implement and what to prioritize and focus on. Because there are so many things. And I mean, I'm a glutton for resources. I love listening to podcasts, reading books, taking courses and whatnot, but there are so many directions to move forward in, and I'm thinking the reason that a lot of people are held back at the beginning especially is because you make a decision sometimes and it's not always lucrative, so then you're thinking, oh, maybe I should have prioritized this other thing or gone in this other direction, and so it's hard to kind of decide where to put your time and attention in. Does that make any sense?
That does make sense. It makes total sense. And yes, there are so many different avenues of education out there. There are so many people who call themselves educators. And there's a lot of education because a lot of times as educators, we educate and we teach on things that worked for us. Some teach tactics and strategy and techniques that work across the board or very regularly. You will have some good outcome, but some tend to teach just, hey, this worked for me, so you try it out. And those aren't always typically the best to seek advice from. But like today with TikTok and YouTube and with all of the social media and all of the reels, I feel like for a lot of photographers, they get to like a certain level of I've been a photographer for this many years, and now my next step is to become an educator. And that is not always a great step for a lot of photographers. But like you were saying, Adriana, it's there's so much out there. How do you know who to listen to? So here's a couple tips to help guide you if you are in those shoes of just, I don't even know who to listen to. I don't know what to do. This will help you out. First, you want to look for someone who has some social proof. This will kind of weed out anyone who's just throwing education out there, but they don't have any social proof of this actually works. And what social proof is like testimonials or reviews or something like that. So if someone has testimonials from past mentorships or coaching, then they are more likely someone who knows what they're talking about that you should listen to because they have helped coach someone else in the past, and that someone else in the past has given a testimonial of, hey, they told me X, I did X, and now Y happened, and it's great. um in other words, obviously. But you also want to see, are they running a successful business? If they're a photographer teaching about how to get you to a six-figure income and how to travel the world and be a destination photographer, but they are not posting much and they it doesn't really seem like they ever did really travel, then maybe don't listen to them about how to become a traveling photographer. You want to make sure that they have lived experience of whatever you're doing. So, or whatever they are teaching, whatever you are in search for. And then also ask around. Ask around for people who who maybe have attended a workshop or have worked with a certain mentor or a coach, and you're interested in finding a coach. You're like, hey, so and so, you worked with this coach, did that benefit you? Or were you just like, well, that was $600 or that was $5,000 that I will not get back. And I learned my lesson. So ask around, find out from people who have worked with other people who are teaching about who's actually worth investing your money into to get the knowledge from them. And once you found someone with some social proof, check their character. Look at their character. Who are they? There are many educators out there who have a passion to help other photographers, other entrepreneurs, business owners, creatives. They have a passion, and you can tell whenever you're looking at them, whenever you see what they're putting out online, whenever you follow them on social media and you're listening to them and their stories, if they have a podcast, you can feel that from their podcast that they have a passion for people to grow and to help. The whole rising tide lifts all boats. They want to help raise the tide so it'll lift up your boat as well as theirs, even if theirs is a yacht and it is already lifted up pretty high. It's still going to lift as we lift up the entire industry. So look for someone who has good character. um some educators see it as a quick way to make a buck. And they're like, I can put out this course and people will pay, and they will make some money, but people don't really get that much out of the course. So get get a sense of what vibe you're picking up from whatever educator it is that you're looking at, and kind of see what is their character, what is their passion, do they have a passion, or are they out here just trying to sell memberships and get on my email list and all of that without any real passion behind what they're doing. Um, okay. Also, I've got my notes here. So to help me stay on track, these solo shows, But another tip is to learn what way you retain information the best. So some of us, you might be more of a hands-on, like in-person type person, that you really thrive in in-person teaching. That's great. Look for a workshop. Look for some one-on-one coaching that you can do, where it is you and the educator. It is you and just a handful of people at a workshop, really getting that one-on-one or one-on-few type teaching that you do, that you actually retain that information the best. So kind of assess yourself. So once you've found some educators that they have some social proof, they have a good character, you're liking their vibe, how do you take in education the best? So if you're not an in-person person, maybe you are more of a an online course, and you power through those online courses. If you've ever downloaded one of those or attended a webinar or something like that, where you finish it out, you actually go through all the modules. There's only like 4% of people who actually buy an online course finish the online course, which is a crazy statistic. But maybe you're one of those 4%. You're part of the 4%, and you're like, I love online courses. I can do this at my own pace. I'm good. I can have this running in the background. I can watch it multiple times. Online course is your way to go. Or maybe you need some little bite-sized, kind of step-by-step type deal. So a membership is good. A Patreon type deal might work out really well, where you're getting like weekly or monthly little tips and strategy or even learning from podcasts like this one. That might be something good for you if you are more of a step by step kind of person, taking little bites. Maybe you don't have a ton of time right now to pour into an online course, or you don't have the time. I know a lot of y'all listening, you got little kids, and you can't just get up and go to a conference in another state, or sometimes in another country, for 3, 4, or 5 days. Before you do any of that, before you find an educator that you align with, that you feel like they've got a good vibe, before you do any of that, you need to assess where you are and where you want to be. I think this is the most important thing. Whenever you're looking for an educator, you need to know yourself, what is it that I'm wanting to get out of this? What is my goal? Where am I going to go? Because if you don't have a goal, then you're just wandering aimlessly, and you were going to find some catchy named course that promises some pretty big promises, and you're going to go, that sounds great. That's amazing. I would love to do that. And then you do that and you're like, that's not actually what my business needed. That's not actually what I needed right now. So, what is your goal with finding education? Are you wanting to like iron out your systems and processes? Are you looking for more organization in system workflows? Then find someone who is an educator, someone who is has specific knowledge and who can say specific correctly. But find someone who has that knowledge and specialty in systems and workflows. If that's where you are lacking in your business, you're like, that's really what I need to do. That is my next step to elevating my business, is ironing out my systems and processes. Or is it to ensure that your website is attracting the right clients? Do you need to, if that's the case, you need to look for someone who speaks on like brand voice and SEO and marketing and has a lot of tips and strategy for that, and that will help you to attract those right clients. If you're looking to learn how to market your business seamlessly, then you need to look for someone who's teaching on like client experience and lead magnets and addressing what your clients' needs are and what they need to hear. And by setting, or by having that goal set, you can choose a path that you'll take toward that goal. Without that goal set, there are so many paths. And I think, Adriana, that may be where you're coming from, and maybe where this question is coming from, is like, there are so many paths out there. There are so many educators. There's so many ways that I could go. There's so many different paths that you can walk down, but they land at different goals. They have different endpoints. And what you need to do is really find that goal and assess in your business, what do I need to do? What do I need to grow in? And once you have that goal, then you'll start to see some of those paths, they don't align. Some of the educators, some of the courses, it's not going to help you achieve the goal that you've set. So once you have that goal set, now you have narrowed down which different paths you can take to get to that goal. And another note, because I don't hear a lot of people talking about this, but it is very true. At the end of the day, you are probably going to spend some money, you're going to spend some time, you're going to spend some effort in areas and with educators that don't really move you forward. That is not a failure. Do not give up because of that, and do not give up on educators, because it may just not have been a good fit for you. Or you may have found one of those really catchy people that entice you with big numbers or big promises, but then they don't have the social proof and the follow through to show for that. And, there have definitely been courses that I have taken, webinars that I have attended, that I walked away saying, wow, that that was time in my life that I will never get back. I don't feel like I learned anything new here, but I can search through and find maybe a little something that helps me out, or just take it as a growing experience of, you know, I learned from this. I won't jump straight in to the next course that I find or the next person that hits me with a targeted ad. I will take a little bit of time to look for that social proof, to ask around, see if anyone else has taken this course before. Like me personally, I have taken Ben Hartley's Book Solid course. And in Ben Hartley's uh, mastermind Facebook group, there are constantly people posting in there just being like, hey, I'm thinking about signing up for the Book Solid course. Has anyone taken this and had a win? And he's actually, created a hashtag for that. So whenever you do have wins, you can use a hashtag and people can search that and see all the social proof, which is very smart, Ben. That's very smart. But that is a helpful way. Those people are doing their due diligence of, this sounds great. This sounds really good. And I'm interested in this course, but I need to know from other people. Is it worth it? Is it worth the thousands of dollars? Or should I just continue on doing what I'm doing and save my money? Uh, so don't be afraid to ask around, and don't be afraid to ask for help. I think a lot of times especially those of us who have maybe been in the game a little bit longer, we have a little bit of pride of, well, I've been a photographer for 5 years, or I've been a photographer for 10 years. I can't ask for help. I need to figure this out on my own. The moment that you realize that you can ask for help and you don't have to do this on your own, you take off. It is so much easier to do things. And yeah, it can take a shot at your ego, which your ego probably needs to have a shot taken at it anyway. But it is a great way to grow by learning from others and by asking for others' help. The most successful minds are those who strive to learn from others and from their own experiences. And those are the minds that are constantly moving forward because they're taking those steps. The ones that say, I can do this on my own, I am not going to ask for any help, you kind of get stagnant after a while because there's only so much that you can teach yourself before you've learned everything that you can teach yourself. And if you need help finding some quality educators, shoot me a DM, all heart photo on Instagram, or wit.pod, WITT. Um, Shoot me a DM. I am happy to talk with you and hear what it is that you're wanting to grow in your business. And then I can point you towards some great educators. There have been a ton. I've had over 100 guests on the podcast, and a lot of them are amazing educators that I will absolutely point you toward. Or if it ends up being a good fit for me, hey, maybe we will work together. I need to work on speaking, which is one of the things that I should probably take a course on. But yeah, shoot me a DM. I would be glad to connect with you and to connect you with someone that I think would work well for you. But yeah, so those are my tips, kind of to summarize that. You want to find someone whose vibe feels good, who isn't super salesy and give me your money type person, but someone who has a passion to see you grow, because you're going to feel that in the coaching, in the mentorship, in the course that they create. It's going to have that passion in there. So find someone who has a good vibe, find someone who has some social proof and other people who have learned from them before. Or at least ask around if anyone has worked with them before and seen any improvements. And before any of that, figure out what your goal is, where you want to end up, and then you can find the path that leads you to that goal. find the educator that will get you closer to there, and find the community that will rise up, find the community that will rise up alongside you and help raise that tide. I don't know. I'm getting lost in analogies here, but find your community, find your educators based on what your goals are and what you want for your business and for your life. And I didn't really mention this, but when you're figuring out those goals, try and find some time parameters as well. Instead of just like, I want to hit six figures, try and put that into a time frame of within the next 6 months, I would like to have a projected income of that next 12 calendar months to be six figures, because that is a tangible goal that you can look at. And maybe in 6 months, you're at 85K for that following 12 months. And you're like, okay, I can work hard to get another 15K in this next 12 months to hit 100K. But yeah, having those time frames and those parameters really help to make it real and go do it. But I hope this was helpful. Thank you for submitting that question, Adriana. If anyone else has any questions, you are welcome to shoot me DMs at any time. You are welcome to send voice memos, just like Adriana did, and then I will answer these and could turn it into a whole podcast episode like this one. But again, thank you for listening to the podcast. As always, you can find all the information in the show notes at podcast.allheartphoto.com. And we've got a ton of free resources for you and affiliate links to some amazing businesses and software that I use, that I personally use. I don't do affiliate stuff for anyone that I don't actually love. So you can go in there and you can get some discounts and some free edited photos and all sorts of things. So go check out that at podcast.allheartphoto.resources. Nope. podcast.allheartphoto.com/resources. I probably need to figure out a different URL because I don't remember that one very well and it's hard for me to say. But go do that one. It's also linked in the show notes. You can go check it out. Until next time, I will see you in the podcast. All right. Bye, y'all.